Most people wake up every morning already trapped. Not in a cage of iron bars, but in something far more invisible, the paycheck cycle. Work for 30 days, get paid for 30 days, survive for 30 days, then repeat, year after year. And the most dangerous part, it starts to feel normal. What if I told you that this cycle is not a life sentence, but a system you were never taught how to escape? Today we're breaking that illusion, because the truth is financial freedom is not about working harder, it's about thinking differently. And few people explain this better than Jim Rohn, who spent his life teaching that success is not something you chase, it is something you attract through discipline, habits, and philosophy. Before you dismiss this as just another money talk, stay until the end, because what you're about to hear is not theory, it is a shift in mindset that can completely change how you see work, money, and time itself. By the end of this speech, you will understand why most people stay stuck and, more importantly, how to step out of the paycheck trap forever. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Stop trading all your time for money. The fundamental trap of the modern economy is the linear exchange of hours for dollars. When you trade time for money, you are essentially selling a non-renewable resource for a finite taxable reward. This model is inherently flawed because time is the only asset you cannot replenish or scale. If your income is strictly tied to your physical presence or your active labor, your earning potential is hard capped by the 24 hours available in a day. Even the most highly paid professionals, such as surgeons or elite attorneys, eventually hit a ceiling where they simply cannot work more hours to increase their wealth. This creates a state of golden handcuffs where a high standard of living is entirely dependent on an exhausting, never-ending cycle of performance. To break this cycle, you must undergo a cognitive shift that views money not as a reward for effort, but as a byproduct of value. In a traditional job, you are often paid for showing up, which incentivizes inefficiency and presence over impact. Wealth, however, is attracted to results that exist independently of the creator. If you spend 40 hours a week building a system that serves thousands of people, those 40 hours continue to pay dividends long after the initial work is finished. This is the essence of decoupling your income from your clock. When you stop being the engine of your financial machine and start becoming the architect, you move from a life of labor to a life of leverage. Consider the difference between a freelance writer who is paid per word and an author who writes a book. The freelancer must write every day to eat, effectively starting from zero every Monday morning. The author, while perhaps earning nothing during the initial creation phase, builds an intellectual property asset. Once the book is published, it can be sold to millions of people simultaneously. The author is no longer working for the money generated by a sale on a Tuesday afternoon 3 years later. This transition from active work to asset creation is the first pillar of true financial freedom. It requires the discipline to invest your surplus time, the hours after your day job, into building something that will eventually replace the need for that job. Furthermore, trading time for money often leads to a phenomenon known as burnout, which is the body's natural response to an unsustainable exchange. When you feel that your life is a series of tasks with no light at the end of the tunnel, your creativity and motivation dwindle. This makes it even harder to escape the trap as you become too exhausted to build the very systems that would set you free. By internalizing the idea that wealth is built on value and scalability rather than sweat and stamina, you begin to look for opportunities to automate, delegate, and innovate. You start asking yourself, how can I do this work once and get paid for it 1,000 times? Ultimately, the goal is to move from being a human doing to a human being who owns systems. Society has conditioned us to take pride in our busyness, treating exhaustion as a badge of honor. But in the world of wealth creation, busyness is often a sign of inefficiency. The truly wealthy are those who have mastered the art of leverage, using other people's time, other people's money, or technology to produce results. When you stop trading your life force for a paycheck, you regain the autonomy to spend your time on things that actually matter: family, health, and purpose. This isn't just about getting rich, it's about reclaiming the most precious thing you own, your life. Lesson 2. Build skills that multiply your income. Not all skills provide the same return on investment. If you spend 10,000 hours mastering a skill that is easily replaceable or has a low market ceiling, you are effectively capping your future. To accelerate wealth, you must focus on high-leverage skills. abilities that allow you to influence large groups of people or manage large amounts of capital. These are the skills that act as force multipliers. For instance, the ability to write code or create digital content allows your work to be replicated infinitely at near zero marginal cost. Similarly, mastering the art of sales or public speaking allows you to persuade thousands of people at once rather than one person at a time. One of the most vital skills to master is communication, specifically the ability to synthesize complex ideas and present them persuasively. Whether you are pitching a venture capitalist, leading a team, or writing a marketing campaign, your ability to move people with words is a direct driver of income. In the digital age, this extends to digital storytelling. If you can capture and hold attention in a world where attention is the scarcest resource, you possess a skill that can be monetized in almost any industry. Unlike technical skills that may become obsolete with the rise of artificial intelligence, the human-centric skills of empathy, persuasion, and leadership remain perpetually valuable. Another critical multiplication skill is capital allocation or investing. This is the skill of making your money work harder than you do. It involves understanding risk, evaluating opportunities, and understanding the power of compounding. When you learn how to identify undervalued assets or high-growth businesses, you are leveraging the labor and brilliance of others to grow your own net worth. This is perhaps the ultimate multiplier because it requires no physical labor on your part. However, it is not a skill that can be skipped. It requires a deep understanding of market cycles and human psychology to master the discipline of buying when others are fearful and selling when others are greedy. We must also consider meta skills, the skill of learning how to learn. The modern economy changes at a blistering pace. A skill that is lucrative today might be automated tomorrow. Therefore, the ability to quickly pivot, acquire new knowledge, and integrate it into your existing framework is the ultimate insurance policy. If you can become a polymath, someone who combines skills from disparate fields, you create a talent stack that is unique and impossible to commoditize. For example, a great engineer is valuable, but an engineer who also understands sales and psychology is a unicorn who can command their own price in the marketplace. Finally, you must distinguish between labor-intensive skills and judgment-intensive skills. As you progress in your career and wealth-building journey, you should seek to move away from tasks that require your hands and toward tasks that require your mind. High-level judgment is scarce and highly rewarded. Decisions made by a CEO or a lead investor can result in millions of dollars of gain or loss. Therefore, their time is compensated at a rate that reflects that massive impact. By intentionally building skills that rely on your unique insights and strategic thinking, you move into a realm where your income is no longer tied to how hard you work, but how right you are. Lesson 3. Control your spending before you try to increase income. There is a pervasive myth that a higher income is the cure for financial struggle. In reality, without the discipline to control spending, a higher income often leads to lifestyle creep, where your expenses rise in direct proportion to your earnings. This is why you see professional athletes or lottery winners go bankrupt despite earning millions. They have a leaky bucket problem. No matter how much water you pour into a bucket, it will never fill if there are holes at the bottom. Controlling your spending is the process of plugging those holes so that your income can actually accumulate and be put to work in productive assets. The psychological trap of spending is often rooted in the desire for status. We live in a culture designed to make us feel inadequate unless we are consuming the latest products, driving the most expensive cars, or living in the trendiest neighborhoods. This is conspicuous consumption, and it is the enemy of wealth. When you spend money to look rich, you are literally taking away the capital that could actually make you rich. True wealth is what you don't see. It's the money in the brokerage account, the equity in the business, and the freedom to walk away from a job you hate. By prioritizing stealth wealth over status symbols, you gain a massive psychological advantage over the average consumer. Discipline in spending creates a buffer or margin of safety. This margin is what allows you to take risks. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, you are a slave to your current circumstances. You cannot afford to quit a toxic job, start a business, or wait for a better investment opportunity because you need next month's rent. However, if you have suppressed your spending and built a significant cash reserve, you have the power to say no. This FU money is the first real taste of freedom. It changes your posture in negotiations and allows you to think with a long-term perspective rather than a survivalist one. Furthermore, controlling spending is about understanding the opportunity cost of every dollar. $1,000 spent on a luxury watch today is not just $1,000 gone. It is the tens of thousands of dollars that money could have become if invested over 20 years at an 8% return. When you view spending through the lens of future value, your perspective on treats and rewards changes. You realize that most consumer purchases provide a fleeting spike in dopamine, followed by a long-term drag on your financial independence. This doesn't mean living in total deprivation, but it does mean being intentional and ensuring that your spending aligns with your long-term values rather than your short-term impulses. Ultimately, financial success is less about how much you make and more about how much you keep. The gap between your income and your expenses is your wealth-building engine. The wider you can make that gap, the faster your engine runs. By maintaining a modest lifestyle even as your income explodes, you create a surplus that can be aggressively deployed into investments. This delayed gratification is the hallmark of the wealthy mindset. It is the willingness to live like no one else now so that later you can live like no one else. Discipline is not a restriction of your freedom, it is the construction of it. Lesson 4. Create income that works without you. The shift from active income to passive or system-led income is the point where you transition from an employee to an owner. Passive income is often misunderstood as money for nothing, but in reality it is money for something you did once. It requires an immense amount of upfront effort to build the system, but once the system is operational, the maintenance required is minimal compared to the output. This is the difference between hauling buckets of water and building a pipeline. The bucket hauler gets paid for every trip, but the pipeline builder gets paid while they sleep because the water flows automatically. There are several primary vehicles for creating this kind of income: businesses, paper assets, stocks/bonds, real estate, and digital assets. In the modern era, digital assets have the lowest barrier to entry. Creating a software-as-a-service SaaS product, an online course, or a YouTube channel allows you to reach a global audience with zero shipping costs and infinite scalability. These platforms work for you 24/7, serving customers in different time zones without requiring your presence. This permissionless leverage is the great equalizer of the 21st century, allowing anyone with a laptop and a vision to build a wealth-generating machine. Real estate and paper assets represent the more traditional paths to passive income. Real estate provides the benefit of leverage, using the bank's money to buy the asset and tax advantages, while the tenants effectively pay down your debt and provide monthly cash flow. Paper assets, such as dividend-paying stocks or index funds, allow you to own a piece of the most productive companies in the world. When you own shares of a global corporation, thousands of the smartest people in the world are working every day to increase the value of your asset. You are a silent partner in their success, reaping the rewards of their labor without having to manage the daily operations. The key to Lesson 4 is the concept of systems. A system is a repeatable process that produces a predictable result. If you own a business but you are the only person who can do the work, you don't own a business, you own a job. To create income that works without you, you must build systems that can be operated by others or by technology. This involves creating standard operating procedures, SOPs, hiring competent people, and using automation tools. The goal is to make yourself redundant. The more redundant you are in the daily operations of your income streams, the more passive that income becomes and the more freedom you truly possess. As these streams of income grow, they eventually reach a tipping point where they exceed your cost of living. This is the definition of financial independence. At this stage, work becomes optional. You may choose to continue working because you find it fulfilling, but you are no longer driven by the fear of poverty. This freedom allows you to take even bigger risks and pursue even more ambitious projects, often leading to even greater wealth. By focusing on building assets rather than chasing paychecks, you create a self-sustaining ecosystem that grows stronger over time, providing security for you and future generations. Lesson 5. Change your identity, not just your actions. True transformation does not happen at the level of doing, it happens at the level of being. Most people try to change their financial situation by adopting new habits or following a new strategy, but they still carry the identity of a worker or a consumer. If your internal narrative is that you are someone who struggles with money or can't understand investing, your subconscious will eventually sabotage your efforts to stay consistent with that identity. To achieve lasting wealth, you must first adopt the identity of a wealth creator, an owner, and an investor. You must see yourself as the captain of your financial ship rather than a passenger on someone else's. Identity is the internal compass that guides your daily decisions. When you identify as a healthy person, you don't struggle to go to the gym. It's simply what a healthy person does. Similarly, when you identify as a business owner, you look at every problem through the lens of systems and solutions rather than complaints and excuses. You stop asking, "Who will give me a job?" and start asking, "What value can I create?" This shift in perspective changes how you interact with the world, how you spend your time, and the types of people you associate with. You begin to gravitate toward those who think bigger and challenge your limiting beliefs. A major part of changing your identity is overcoming scarcity mindset, the belief that there is a limited amount of wealth and that for you to win, someone else must lose. This mindset leads to envy, fear, and a hesitation to invest in yourself. An identity of abundance recognizes that value creation is an infinite game. When you create a product that helps people, you are adding to the world's total wealth, not just moving it around. This allows you to operate from a place of confidence and collaboration. You stop viewing others as competition and start seeing them as potential partners or teachers. We must also address the imposter syndrome that often accompanies financial growth. As you move into new circles and start making more money than your peers or your parents, you may feel like a fraud. You might feel a subconscious pull to return to your old self to stay comfortable. Recognizing this as a natural part of growth is essential. You must be willing to kill your old version to let the new one emerge. This often requires changing your environment, the books you read, the podcasts you listen to, and the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your environment acts as a mirror. If it reflects a middle class or poverty mindset, it will be incredibly difficult to maintain a wealthy identity. Ultimately, your net worth will rarely exceed your self-worth. If you don't believe you are the kind of person who deserves to be free and wealthy, you will find ways to spend, lose, or avoid the money that comes your way. Changing your identity means taking radical responsibility for your life. It means moving away from the victim narrative where the economy, the government, or your boss is to blame for your situation. When you adopt the identity of a creator, you realize that while you cannot control the wind, you can always adjust your sails. This internal shift is the most difficult part of the journey, but it is the only one that ensures your success is permanent rather than a temporary stroke of luck. Escaping the paycheck trap is not about luck, timing, or even intelligence. It is about decision and direction. Most people stay stuck not because they lack opportunity, but because they repeat the same financial behaviors every single month without question. The real shift begins when you stop seeing money as something you only earn through hours worked, and start seeing it as something you can design through value, systems, and discipline. As taught by Jim Rohn, your life improves when you improve your philosophy. That means your financial future is not determined by your job title, but by your daily choices, what you learn, what you spend, and what you build. If you take nothing else from this message, remember this: the paycheck trap is not locked from the outside. It is maintained from the inside by habits, comfort, and repetition. But the moment you start investing in skills, controlling your money, and building income streams that don't depend on your presence, you begin to rewrite your future. Freedom is not an event. It is a process of becoming. And that process starts the moment you decide you are done living the same month on repeat.